All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to USA States Cup 2024 quarterfinals weekend. We are into our Sunday evening block of matches starting right now. Here on the A stream, it is a winner's bracket quarterfinal, SoCal versus Virginia, as you can see on your screen. The number 4 seed, South California, number 5 seed, defending champions, Virginia. Simultaneously over on B stream, we have Oregon as the 11th seed, taking on Stateless as the 14th seed. That's loser's bracket round 3 match. So if you want to do some dual OSU watching, you can bring those up in multi-twitch, have yourself a good old time. But over here, it's going to be me and Dada bringing to you what hopefully will be the first competitive winners bracket quarterfinals. The first two were pretty one-sided, and Dada, we've spoken about this in the past, but I do think this year's SoCal versus this year's Virginia should be a pretty fiercely fought matchup.
It's an interesting matchup for sure. We have the sort of return of SoCal after a couple years without that real, centralizing presence that they had. They previously had Idke, Vaxi, Utami, and now Utami again. Let's not talk about what happened in between those Utamis. But meanwhile, Virginia, they obviously had a really good year last year, but they lost a couple of players, they gained a couple of players, and it's an interesting matchup. I don't know really how to describe this Virginia roster, because in theory, it's stronger than last year's, but everyone else is, I think, comparatively a bigger increase than Virginia's strength increase. So we'll see if that's enough to combat the dominance that Virginia had over last year, but otherwise, yeah, I don't know. South California, obviously, the winners before Virginia, back when Utami did his patented 1v5. Meanwhile, Virginia has a centralizing presence, but a couple of very good side players, like those bonus pieces like RNG, like One Tab Me. Everyone just contributing to the Rectagon Spirit Bomb. And yeah.
And yeah, every high school presentation I ever gave, famous last words.
You liked reading this essay as much as I enjoyed writing it.
It is an interesting matchup, like you said, some changes to these rosters, some solid players still sticking around, some, one particular player coming back. I will say this about that one particular player: has not so far lived up to what he left us with as the most dominant player in the United States back in 2022. Rectagon has very much taken over that mantle, and so far this tournament, we really haven't seen the Utami that we're used to seeing outside of that one easy flashlight play in the first week. Other than that, he's been a good, not great player. Whereas, I think you need him to be a real top tier performer as a SoCal roster if you want to win this matchup, if you want to, get that top 4 at minimum again that they've become so used to over the years. Last year, even without Utami, they did finish 4th. But as you said, this year, a lot of teams have gotten better. The top 6 to 8 teams all feel pretty strong this year. Although, as I say that, I'm thinking of the fact that we saw New York just absolutely run roughshod over Texas earlier, which was a team that I expected to be competing for, top 3, top 4. And they just got 6-1. They got straight up boat raced by New York, who were just out for blood.
On that matchup specifically, you're looking at Texas obviously improving, but you're also looking at New York doing leaps and bounds better than they did last year and a couple years before, because they finally have a core of 3 players that can really show up and play mostly every map. So yeah, I think a lot more teams now have that standard core of 3. I think NorCal has a very good core of 3. South California has obviously a pretty good core as well. Virginia, New York, Texas. Like, there's so many teams. Florida. Like, a lot of teams will be able to play semis, finals, even like grand finals pool pretty competently with all their players, which is a thing that has previously, at least, been a challenge for a lot of USC teams. So, yeah, I don't know how to really feel about like I guess the level of competition, I guess, but I do think both of these teams, if they were to win this match, I think they are very much up there with the favorites.
Yeah, and both these teams, didn't have the easiest time last week, right? Virginia 5-3, very, very narrowly escaped going to a tiebreaker against Pennsylvania. SoCal, of course, tiebreaker win over Minnesota of all teams, and 27,000 points away on that tiebreaker from being dropped into the losers bracket earlier than I have to imagine they ever would have been before. So it kind of feels like these are two teams that we have really high expectations for. They have high expectations for themselves, but they need to kind of show it, and they're being forced to display it against each other, which is a pretty scary thing. One of these teams is going to be dropping to losers a little earlier than I think you would anticipate, just because this bracket is so strong. You run into good teams pretty early, and the seeding worked out such that they're 4-5 this year. Trying to think who they, the winner of this, of course, goes on to face NorCal, who have looked really dominant and deserving of their #1 seed in their first 3 matches. Loser actually goes down. They would face off against the Oregon Stateless winner, which is another match, obviously, that's ongoing. So you're looking at a pretty difficult matchup in semis as well. Like, things are getting tough matchup-wise very quickly this year, it feels. And semis, I mean, you're expecting it, but, like, even in these quarters. And goodbye to our audio in the VOD, I'm pretty sure, because Metallica.
Yeah. Sorry to everyone who watches the VOD. I guess you're not going to be able to watch this current section of it. But also, this means we can talk about anything. So, Aaron, today I helped my grandma move her fridge, and as a reward, I got access to my grandma's signature dish, which is taking a can of corn and cooking it in a pool of butter. And it's just as delectably and despicably good as it sounds. But it's also greasy as fuck. But, I think that's I was gonna say that's soul food, but that's a little insensitive, I think. But yeah, that's food. That's food that helps the soul after a lengthy two-man operation of taking a fridge upstairs.
Yeah, buttered corn and fridge moving.
Yeah.
Wow. I asked the ref to change the song, and he puts this on. Oh my god! Of all the things he could have chosen, what did I do today? I watched cycling, the Tour de France stage to Plateau de Bay. Tadej Pogacar victorious over Jonas Vingegaard in a very impressive performance. I watched Carlos Alcaraz beat the shit out of Novak Djokovic in the Wimbledon final.
Fuck Djokovic.
That was insane. That was like the worst beatdown I've seen him endure in a Grand Slam final in a very long time.
Hashtag not my goat.
What else? I casted Perennial Winners Final. I casted ESSA Grand Final. I casted whatever USC match it was earlier this afternoon. Texas, New York.
Yeah.
Texas was not forever, as it turns out.
Forever sent to losers bracket.
Yeah. And now here we are. It is the band phase, and we have Hard Rock 2 as the first band from SoCal. That is going to be a map in some capacity or other. I can't see the map on the sheet. There we go. That's the 6.5 Camellia. Hidden 3 banned by Virginia is our area hidden. Going to be removed. Some kind of niche skill sets that are popular in map pools, right? The Precision, Hard Rock, and the Nglowe are hidden.
That's unfortunate. Dude, this same song is gonna loop for at least 4 times while we're doing the band phase. So, what a nice choice by our ref and DJ, Rob
Yeah, like,
underscore.
he could have put on the tiebreaker, or he could have put on any song in the pool. He could have put on Nomad
No, let him cook.
3.
Let him cook.
You're welcome, Dada. Dada, you have a welcome now. What are you going to do with your welcome?
I will consume it like the black hole that I am. I will spaghettify this welcome because it has entered my event horizon.
He hates me. Chat, Rob hates me. This is so sad. All right, next band, SoCal. I don't actually know what they will maybe feel like they need to ban here. Taking their time on this one. It's going to be Free Mod 4, which is just a flow aim stream low BPM free mod pick.
That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that they banned the stream map against Rectagon and BTMC.
That map has just not existed much in this round, to be honest. I think it's got 3 picks.
3 picks is a decent amount. How many bans?
3 also, in fact.
That's more than half the matches, I think, right?
6 out of... How many matches have been played so far? 12? Maybe 13? Well, no, it would be 12, because there's these 3 matches in this block plus 1 more, so yeah.
There's no overlay
50%.
showing all the maps with picks and bans. I am sorry about that, but that is a laser exclusive feature. A laser overlay tourney client thingy. And that messes up a lot of what we do with the tourney client in USC.
Also, getting a certain somebody to do relevant graphics has proven challenging. Therefore, we continue doing this.
You can, however, do exclamation mark map pool, I believe. And then
you can do exclamation mark a lot of things.
Yeah, you can do exclamation mark map pool, and then you'll see the map pool, and then in exclamation mark bands, you see the bands if anyone's already updated those. So we work around it.
Yeah, James has in fact already updated those. Shout outs
Thank
to
you,
James. Anyway, first pick for Virginia going to be an unsurprising free mod 2 because this is just Rectagon Hard Rock all the way to the bank.
Who hard rocks for SoCal? Is it Utami, or does Utami go with the hidden?
I know we've seen Utami playing a decent amount of early round hard rock on free mods for SoCal traditionally. I need to check on something here because I don't actually know. Your cute is probably in to run hidden on this. So it's probably Utami Hard Rock and 315 on Nomad, if I had to guess.
Okay.
And then you've got, I think Virginia, it's going to be failing hidden.
Rectagon Hard Rock,
Rectagon Hard Rock, RNG Nomad. Or no, excuse me, RNG hidden, I think, actually. I'm sorry. And then failing Nomad, Rectagon Hard Rock. You just got to figure it's a tech map with Hard Rock. That's just Rectagon.
I wouldn't even call this much of a tech map. It's more of just like mechanics with a couple sliders. It's not even mech tech in like that sense. It's just like mechanics plus.
Yeah, that's true. But
Mechanics asterisk, mechanics hash, mechanics sharp.
Wow. It is... Okay, somebody in chat just asked, why isn't the Virginia match being streamed? My brother in Christ, look at your screen.
Um,
My brother in Christ, you are not going to believe your eyes when you open them and look at the screen.
1 million fireflies?
Alright, so it is actually going to be Utami on the Nomad, 315 on the Hard Rock. Virginia, as expected. Oh, don't tell me Failing does this permanent cursor smoke thing, bro.
I don't think he's doing that. I think he just fat-fingered his smoke key a couple times.
No, he's doing that.
Fuck.
He's doing that, yeah. Wonderful. I used to have smoke skinned out.
Because of Chitoge OP.
Yeah. And then I stopped doing that, and I guess I need to do it again whenever we stream certain people again. Very sad.
We'll just tell him to unbind his smoke key after this one. That's fine. 3-5 the first break, but Rectigon actually trading it out. Both of the Hard Rock players. A little bit surprising for Rectigon. Failing also. Everyone really breaking on this chorus here. Failing and You're Cute, so the only FCs being RNG and Utami. Still the lead is slightly in Virginia's favor, maybe due to that mod advantage on the FCs. And a bit of an accuracy advantage on Rectigon compared to 3-5.
Yeah, kind of to be expected, I would say. Rectigon, generally, you're going to anticipate him being quite good at this sort of thing with the Hard Rock. Another break there from You're Cute. So, a little bit combo advantage gained for Virginia. But that RNG versus Utami matchup is going to be the really important one. It's Hidden versus Nomad. It's FC versus FC. There goes 3-15, though. There's some backing combo gone for the side of SoCal. And with a third of the map to go, Virginia's going to start to expand this lead out. It's only 80k, but they have a lot more supporting combo for their FC than does SoCal.
Failing, breaking on the start of this chorus, 3-5 trading it right back. Rectigon has stepped up his combo, however. Oh, Jesus, RNG missed. RNG missed, this means Utami.
It's a full reset for Virginia, by the way. It is literally just Utami left. And he does have the support of You're Cute, so this is going to get dragged on over to SoCal. The only FC in the lobby is on Utami coming into the ending, and he looks to have done enough here, even with the breaks from his teammates. No combo to speak of on the side of Virginia. And this is going to be an early first pick break point for SoCal as Utami. We've asked the question, what version of him will we see in this match now that the stakes are a little bit higher here against a strong team like Virginia? And he has answered with a full combo on map number 1 to lead his team to a breakpoint to open this match up.
Honestly, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Feels like we've just been transported 2 years back, where Utami's team has like an alright score, and then Utami just like puts them on his back.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
I mean, he was 1v everything in 2022.
Yeah, not so much this year, but meanwhile, we have an interesting thing where Rectigon not being the protagonist of this pick for Virginia. RNG actually getting a 700k and almost essentially pushing Virginia through that finish line by himself as well. But first, very quick breakpoint for South California, and they will be picking DT4. Interesting pick.
Yeah, I understood the 3-1-2 first pick for Virginia instantly. I'm not sure I quite get automatically jumping into DT4 here for SoCal, but we know that, you know, at the very least, if Utami's playing well, he's very good at this type of pick. I don't know who the others are necessarily in for this.
So, for SoCal, I think they have like a standard-ish lineup. For Virginia, I think importantly this boots RNG out of the lobby. I think, because generally RNG is not really seen as a tapping player. And then you have Rectigon. I think Rectigon will still stay in the lobby. Like, he's not really known for this low AR, but he can play it, so I think he will step in the lobby again. Then maybe VTMC and one Tabby. Yeah, that's roughly what I expected. So I don't think this is necessarily a bad pick, but I do think Virginia will be better on it than they may be thinking. But Caleb stepping in. Caleb's also very good at this type of skill set, and Rico L.
Yeah, I like this roster for SoCal on this pick a fair amount. A little uncertain. You know, Rectigon will be good at basically everything. Not too worried about him ever. But Ed and One Tabby, maybe a little less 100% sure what their performance will be like on a pick such as this. So,
what we've seen a lot for this pick, on some of the lower bracket matches especially, but on a couple winner bracket.
And Dada has perished.
Really?
And he's back.
It's combo gaming. We've seen a lot of combo gaming. I don't know what happened there.
But yeah, I agree. You, generally speaking, don't see great AC across the board. Rectagon notwithstanding. On this pick, a lot of players will end up having some trouble with the AC component. It will be a lot about who can hold through these slightly awkward tapping patterns on this somewhat lower AR. But it's 6 FCs through the first 300 combo. Oh yeah, and it's very old, so there's just random breaks where there really shouldn't be in intense portions of the song, because that's how we mapped 15 years ago.
It's great, because people get to look at each other's combos. It just makes it a lot more interesting in a lobby scenario. Utami finding the first break, not expected from SoCal. Breaking on that little double section, probably over-tapping. Meanwhile, everyone else still holding through the first Ki.
Well, Utami giveth and Utami taketh away, I suppose. And Virginia now going to try to build up a bit of a lead, perhaps in the middle third. Utami breaking again. And it is 3 FCs to 2. Utami falling a little bit behind now by, what is that, about 50, 60k, depending on the accuracy of the player you're comparing him to. He does have the highest AC on his team, but the lowest combo. And Virginia's still looking good here. 3-way FC. There it goes. Unfortunately, though, it's going to be Rectagon to break. However, they did establish a 200k lead. Half the map to go. A lot of time left. But it's Virginia to hold for now until BTMC breaks. And that means SoCal. Big combo advantage with the double FC still intact.
This map does get a little bit trickier now, though. We saw a lot of people misreading stacks. Rectagon being the first to break on the stacks, and then BTMC right after. But everyone holding strong through this guy. Nobody breaking on that little troll stream at the very end of the second chorus. We've seen a couple of breaks on that stream this weekend. But here's everyone who's played the other version of the map, which doesn't have anything past this point. Here's where they stop having preparation. As we've seen with Conrad Minton, as we've seen with Wowie. They all had the 2008 version of this map. Oh, what's happening?
Oh, that is brutal for Virginia, man.
So sad.
And now it's Caleb and Rico with the backing combo on Utami. Oh, that lead is inescapable now. Even with the Caleb break, it's a double reset for Virginia on BTMC and Rectagon at the end. Rico holding into the last portion. Utami holding the backing combo. And this is going to be SoCal consolidating the early break point. It's going to be 2-0 just like that. One very good performance from Utami to carry them on the first map, and this one just a better team score to get them through their own first pick. Virginia not looking as comfortable as you might expect them to, and not putting up any FCs. Not the greatest scores on that side either. Nobody, the high score 840k versus an 870k and an FC on recoil, despite the lower accuracy. And once they got into the lead on that one, SoCal was just in the driver's seat the rest of the way, put their foot down on the gas, and drove right away.
Dude, I don't care about, like, anything else. That FC is extremely impressive. Have we even seen an FC on this map this weekend? I don't think so.
I have the stats sheet updated, so I can check on that. I think there's been one map that I don't have on here as of yet.
Cough, cough, no more one. Cough, cough.
It looks like there had not been any FCs. Looks like the top score on this before this match, unless it was played and somebody did well in Pennsylvania versus Minnesota, the top score before this was 770k, and we just saw like 3 people break that.
Seems pretty good, but Rico L having an insane FC. Had not seen that. Meanwhile, Virginia actually choosing to quick pick as a sometimes in baseball you get a quick pitch. This is a quick pick of No Manchu. So we went from a kind of mechanics pick as their first pick, didn't really work, into precision, which again, one of Rectigon's strengths. I think BTMC is pretty okay at precision. One Tabby's pretty good at precision. Like, they have a plethora of good precision players. So it's an interesting... Yeah, RNG will be filling in. It's an interesting pick. I think this map has a lot of variance, usually, because of the very radical nature of, you know, extreme precision, radical precision. But South California will be trading Caleb for Easy Chalk, and this seems to be their roster for this. So, first time we've seen Easy Chalk today. Let's see if he hits the ground running or not. Also, Mitach. Mitach has been activated for Virginia. One of the sneaky most veteran players of this Virginia roster.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you see kind of an extreme niche map like this, because you generally do end up getting some different players in on the teams with the depth to do so. Just guys who are specialists or adjacent to specialists in the particular skill set. So we'll see if Easy Chalk or Mitach can be a difference maker on this pick. Early breaks from RNG and from Utami to start things off.
Not who you'd expect to break here, but everybody else still holding strong. Pretty good accuracies, especially from Rectigon. I believe those were bench misses. Maybe I'll be proven wrong.
I don't know that they were. This map doesn't seem to have the type of patterns that generally cause Bancho breaks.
It's because it had a lag spike. But Mitach, Easy Chalk, and Recoil all breaking at this ending stream section for the first scores. So the only FC to remain is Rectigon, and his accuracy is phenomenal, I have to say.
Yeah, Rectigon, of course, very good hard rock player, generally speaking, quite good at precision as well. They kind of go hand in hand, and despite this obviously being Nomad low AR, the precision aspect of it comes, of course, in. Also, shout out to RNG, recovered very well from the early break, and there goes Utami again, and so it is Easy Chalk and Recoil on a bit of combo, but Rectigon on the FC, RNG on the big backing score, Mitach doing well also. This is looking pretty good for Virginia here, halfway through the lead, over 300,000 points, and really not much SoCal can do to try to combat this, as Virginia's holding on to some seriously strong combo.
Now, we've actually seen a lot of breaks on this section, even though it's a relatively slower section. Because it contains a little bit more jumps than streams, I feel like people get a little bit thrown off. They're used to kind of doing that flow aim at precision and then having to adjust to doing a couple snappy jumps. Might catch them off. The only person who really broke here was Easy Chalk this time. Mitach and Recoil making me bite my tongue, but still, very impressive lead for Virginia on the back of this very good play by Rectigon. Let's see if we can secure the FC.
And this map only has one FC so far this round. It has proven a popular pick, but a challenging one, with a lot of plays already, like to the point where I might have to expand the stats sheet to accommodate them all. And this particular play of it is going to give us the second FC of the week, with Rectigon putting up a 964K, 9888 AC. Humorously, that is the exact same accuracy as Will Cookie got on this with the previous FC on this map for Carolina. So dead even there. Slightly higher score for Will Cookie, but identical accuracy. And that Rectigon play is going to lead Virginia to putting their first point up on the board.
Just a very good showing, just a statement here from Virginia where, like, they lose their first pick, they, you know, come up with a little bit of a different plan, and then execute on it perfectly. Really wasn't really ever close. But still, no, SoCal is leading by 1 breakpoint, so it is still very much in their favor for now.
Yeah, always positive. You get that break point in your back pocket, you consolidate it. You just have to win your own picks the rest of the way. Seems easy as pie. It is going to be SoCal opting into the Hidden 1 as their second pick of this matchup. Of course, the Hidden ban on Hidden 3 and Hidden 2. Double Hidden bans for Virginia in this matchup. So picking the remaining Hidden makes a lot of sense if you're SoCal. Going into kind of a Hidden Light Tech, I suppose, type of map here.
Yeah, like a more ulti hidden, like techie, ulti, that kind of stuff. I believe Wispy is in NorCal, so this technically is a pick that's betraying their in-state rivalry, so to speak. But besides him mapping this, he has he's not really present. Everyone left the lobby except Caleb. This is a good sign. This means that someone, or everyone I guess, is looking at a specific part of the map to try and not break.
For the record, NorCal did play this in their match. Wispy did not play.
Did not, yeah. I was upset, man. Why not play your own map? Even if you suck at it.
I mean, they didn't even get
culture.
They didn't get particularly good scores. If you look at the leaderboard for this map, it's very interesting. Washington, 2.8 mil team score with 2 S ranks and an A rank 900k plus, 2.8 mil team score. Next best team score on this to this point is 1.3 million. That 1.3 million is shared by 7 different teams have gotten 1.3 million on this. I don't know what's going on with this particular map. I lied. It's eight teams, I think.
Apparently, there's like a really good hidden team in Washington, and then everyone else is like all right at hidden. But I think we're gonna see a lot of high scores for this match specifically because Caleb Utami, you're cute, versus Rectigon RNG and One Tabby, all of them very competent hidden players.
Well, in we go. We'll see what SoCal is capable of on their own second pick. Utami with that FC on map number 1. Bottom scored DT4. Did top score for the team on Nomad 2, but that was still only the 3rd best score in the lobby. So we'll see if he can live up to his earlier play in the first pick. It's going to be early break there from Rectigon as well as One Tabby. Going to fall a little bit behind SoCal. See what kind of early advantage they can take on a decently long pick. This one, almost 4 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit of a bad start there for Virginia. However, Caleb will be trading right back. So I'd say it's about even, roughly, for combos. They don't have the true FCs that SoCal does, but they have pretty good backing combos. Rectigon, however, will find another break. Keep in mind that this map usually goes a little bit easier on the first half and then a little bit harder on the second half, so you're more likely to see more breaks on the second half, and seen a lot of breaks on the first half, which is a little bit worrying.
I was gonna say, if you break on the first half, it's definitely a little worrisome because you want to build up all the combo and all the score you can in the easier part of this map. RNG doing his job, but Rectigon a couple of misses so far, and it's gonna be SoCal holding on to about 100k lead through half, well, just shy of half the map, we'll say. There is a break from You're Cute, though. And so it is Utami versus RNG on those FCs. One Tabby ahead of Caleb. And Rectigon now going to be solid backing combo for this Virginia side.
This will quickly go over Virginia. And as we do have a slow section after the first half, so people are going to be able to see who's FCing and, you know, just get a little bit nervous on this break because it's uncomfortably long.
You just gotta kind of sit and wait for it to pick back up, knowing that the score is quite close and that it's likely to come back over if you're looking at it at this juncture where that score is about to flip, and there it goes over to Virginia. RNG, though, still is being matched by Utami, so if he does break and, the others have some trouble in the back half, the door could end up opening. However, the backing combo is huge for Virginia thus far to back up that full combo. And another break there from Caleb, not having the greatest time building back up the combo that he would need. And the lead grows out pretty quickly here for Virginia, over 150k, despite the best efforts of Utami for SoCal. It is a break for one Tabby, but RNG still holding the FC, and Rectagon on that 1k backing combo doing a lot of work after the early struggles.
It is still anybody's game. The lead isn't big enough to be unsurmountable, and Rectagon and one Tabby both on the double break. However, you're cute, also trading, so really just a tale of two players here. RNG and Utami both still in the FC. However, the lead for Virginia is around 180k. So SoCal really needs RNG to break right now.
Yeah, based on the amount of score remaining, it's got to be instant, and I think we're pretty much past the point of no return now. We are looking at a possible double FC, one per team, Utami and RNG, but the backing score is just enough superior for Virginia through that middle third, and not quite up to the end, but that middle third at the very least, built up a lead, and that will be Virginia now taking the break point back. The hidden one not going the way of Virginia, you can see, or not going the way of SoCal, you can see why Virginia was willing to leave this up out of the hiddens and get rid of the hidden 3 and the hidden 2 instead. That is a big score from RNG with the FC. Utami slightly outperforming, but wasn't anything he could do considering the backing scores from Virginia were as good as they were. And that's going to tie things up 2-2. Both teams winning 2 maps in a row to start the match off over in our winner's bracket match here. Notably, at the same time, as you said, we've got Oregon versus Stateless going on. That's a very different match from this one. That one shows Oregon 4-0 in the lead already. So they're running away with that match a little bit. Stateless has got their work cut out for them to get back into it if they want to make that close reminder. That one over on Twitch TV/USA_States_Cup_OSU_B. Here we're going to go into Hard Rock 1 as the next pick for Virginia.
Would you say that they're looking to be... Never mind. I was going to say they're Oregon away with the lead, but...
Yeah, no, that doesn't work. That just don't even know.
Sorry. It's late. Tip your waitresses, etc., etc. Hard Rock 1. Hard Rock 1 coming in for Virginia, as both teams have gotten one normal pick, one normal point, I should say, and one break point. So we're back to normality in a best of 9, essentially, or best of 7, I guess. So yeah, Paradiso Inferno going again towards that kind of mechanics thing that they had going on their first pick that didn't really work out. I do think this is contested, but what's good for Virginia in this scenario is that everyone's forced on Hard Rock. So you're no longer putting Rectagon playing a much harder map than everybody else, which is, I think, good for general team morale and team performance.
Yeah, it's an interesting scenario, comparing some of these top teams and their primary carry player. For several teams that are very, very strong, kind of at the top of the list, their best player is known for perhaps hidden. You've got Will Cookie hidden main, Taquito hidden main, kind of split for a couple of these other teams, but Utami, kind of known as more of a reading and speed player. Than for hidden or hard rock. But then you have Rectagon, who's the hard rock main, and like you said, when you get a free mod that's just way harder on hard rock, you would kind of almost rather your best player be a hidden or a no mod player, because then they're going to be in a more comfortable spot on a very challenging map like that one was.
Yeah, I think Rectagon specifically doesn't really care. but he had a little bit of an underperformance on free mod 2, right? So I think this will be a little bit more representative of what he can do on a pick like this that's very mechanics intensive.
I actually do think this is probably one of the most accessible pools in, or pools, one of the most accessible maps in this pool. If you have like a relatively decent command of Hard Rock, the map itself is not going to be overly challenging. That being said, early break from Yurcute and a lot of early act drop from Failing was down at 93% there for a couple moments, so perhaps we'll see if those two can gain some comfort over the course of the pick. This is another one that will stretch out decently long, 3.5 minutes. And so far, basically dead even. It's 130 combo lead for Virginia, all that separates the teams.
This is an interesting map because I've seen this on a couple of the lower bracket matches as well as one of the winner bracket matches. It's very easy to break. Even though it's accessible, it's very easy to break as SoCal has a full team reset and BTMC will be the only one trading it.
And that will be Rectagon and Failing, building up some combo advantage, building up 140k lead for Virginia on the back of the misses from SoCal. Easy Chalk falls again. BTMC does trade it. Not going to be the end of the world there for Virginia by any means. You're just going to be watching Rectagon and Failing for the moment as Utami and Yurcute try to build up as best they can, but they've got their work cut out for them halfway through, and the lead is 240k.
This is a very good blessing that Virginia got with that triple break. This puts them in such a comfortable position, knowing that they have possibly, well, certainly the US's best Hard Rock player on their team, but possibly the world's. Enough blazing Rectagon though.
I was gonna say
top notch.
There are some other good Hard Rock players out there in the world. I mean, there's that Malashevsky guy who's pretty good at it, among others. But there's another break from Utami at any rate. SoCal going to continue to be distanced here in terms of combo, not making that comeback happen. Double FC still alive, 1/4 of the map to go. Virginia, 500k lead is going to be pretty hard to do anything about at this point for SoCal. It would take a full reset for Virginia and a lot more combo than SoCal has, especially with that break from Easy Chalk. All they've got left is 700 combo and Yurcute, and even that falls. Failing does drop the FC, but Rectagon is still holding strong. BTMC recovering up to a 600 combo. And this is looking like it's going to be 3 straight picks for Virginia after dropping the first two maps. I'm just putting words in the wrong order today. After dropping the first 2 maps, Virginia looking quite strong ever since.
Why use many word when few word do trick? Virginia win map. Rectagon good player.
And yeah, this is going to be the best team score on the map by a pretty considerable margin. It's like 600k or something like that. And that is going to be the first FC on the map for the week that I am aware of. Again, it may have been played in the concurrent match right now. It may have been played in the Pennsylvania-Minnesota match. But on what I have on the set so far, Rectagon putting up the first FC, and with pretty remarkable accuracy, 99.5. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all.
Right, so we're back to a very normal best of 7. And Virginia getting their first pick, and SoCal having to answer with a confident pick of their own. Let's see what they choose. If I were SoCal, I would I don't know what I'd do. Let me look at the pool. My head is already on the next week's pool because I've been pulling it before this. So,
Yeah, I don't actually know. I mean, the first pick for SoCal was DT4, second pick was Hidden 1. Those are 2 completely different types of maps. So again, might be something completely different once more. I do want to mention, Stateless just got on the board by like 10,000 points after Bashi went easy on free mod 2 and came up 10,000 points short of winning the map. I wonder if he goes no mod if they win that point or not, but it is stateless on the board, avoiding the sweep. And we get our second pick of the week on DT3 here. It is going to be the long-awaited Gokusai Shiki, which we really have we saw in New Jersey versus Washington, and that is it on this kind of finger control-y, buzz stream heavy DT pick.
I'm surprised that they went with that, but at the same time, this is like the next thing in the on the like gimmicky ulti list. Like they went for what was it? HD1. And that didn't work. They went for dude, I have short-term memory loss. Like what was their first pick?
Their first pick was free mod 2, the breakpoint that SoCal won.
Oh, okay. No, SoCal's first pick.
SoCal's first pick, sorry, that was DT4.
DT4, okay, that makes sense. So they're going for like the gimmicky, kind of like either Loyar or Alti kind of maps, and one of them worked, one of them didn't. That's probably the next one on the list. Like, it's that, it's maybe Dumb Surfer if you're feeling brave, and maybe you're looking at Nomad 1 if you're also a gambling man or woman or non-binary, gender fluid, you know.
Sure.
So
I think I lost the plot of that one a little bit at some point.
You know, it's a 50-50 pick. Nomad 1 is what I'm trying to say. Like, nobody's confident on it, nobody wants to pick it, and that's for a reason. Nobody can be consistent on it, so you have to assume that it's a gambling pick. You are going to the casino and you're hoping to beat the house. So, SoCal actually having Caleb in 3 and 5 step back in. Utami has been perma-lobbing. Meanwhile, Virginia will have BTMC and RNG. RNG a little bit unsurprising given that this is the one DT pick without tapping. This is more of an alt map. And then Rectigon also perma-lobbing for the side of Virginia. So yeah, all familiar faces. I believe we've seen every single player possible in both teams. Maybe we're missing one Virginian.
No, yeah, we've seen everyone on both sides by now for sure. Good to see. It means we're getting a nice spread of skill sets and a nice spread of players to go with it. And this one, it's gonna start out with a very early break from BTMC as well as RNG.
You have to keep in mind, a couple of these breaks will be fake because of the buzz sliders and spectators, clients, great interaction with them. So keep close attention on the combo numbers because they might just prop up again.
Yeah, it's a very fun aspect of this client that I guess is just not ever going to be fixed, but we'll do what we can with it to try and separate real misses from fake misses. For now, it is SoCal with fewer real misses. 2 FCs on 3-5 and Utami. Rectigon holding for Virginia. There's another break from RNG and that little 1/3 rhythm linear pattern. And that will be SoCal taking a little bit more of an advantage, 100k. We'll see how much more that continues to grow here. But it's going to be a break from 3-1-5, so it's going to temper that growth that they could have had of their lead.
I think a lot of the growth is just based on BTMC's accuracy. He's combo gaming, but his accuracy is very much not up there.
It is not, but there goes Caleb, his combo now not up there. It's going to be a break from Rectigon as well. So it is Utami on the lone FC in the lobby, and the combined combo of BTMC and RNG is greater than the combo of Utami on the FC, but the accuracy pretty poor on both of them, 93 and 95, and there's BTMC breaking once more. And now it's going to be SoCal holding to a reasonable enough combo lead. 3-5 on recovery combo, Caleb on recovery combo, Utami on the FC still.
Yeah, Utami a little bit down in act, but the FC is huge. Meanwhile, 3-5 actually the best stock on the lobby if I'm not seeing ghosts, which I
and 98 act very good.
Very good. Unfortunate combo break for him. But decisive lead here for SoCal as he head into the final third of the map. Almost 300k, maybe even more. Nobody really breaking on this breakdown section. A little bit surprising. It's quite tough.
Yeah, this has been a pretty good performance over the last few hundred combo. Basically, everyone building up a fair amount. Unfortunately for Virginia, though, SoCal has established a pretty sizable lead by this juncture. It's 600k, and it's continuing to go up and up. This is a really good team score from SoCal, and, you know, just to compare, I believe both of the previous teams were below 2 million on this, and SoCal is going to be at 2.3, just shy of 2.4. So quite well done for SoCal. The FC for Utami drops his second full combo, I believe, of this match. And it's all tied up again. It's 3-3. So a couple dropped break points early on, and then a couple of held points to follow. And now 2 picks left per team. Best of 5 on our hands, and the team's looking pretty darn evenly matched at this juncture.
Yeah, you would say they're even tied, as the score suggests. But yeah, a couple of S ranks here. Not only Utami with his FC, but 315 and BTMC, both having unfortunate slider breaks. I believe this was a big gripe with the map, which stopped a lot of teams from picking it, is that consistency was just not there. People would find slider breaks on a couple of buzz sliders, left, right, and center. So SoCal, even despite that, picking it and still performing very good on it. So yeah, pretty good. Meanwhile, Virginia will have to answer back with a pick of their own. Let's see if they've run out of picks or if they're gonna head in a more tapping direction.
Tapping feels like a really volatile skill set in this matchup, to say the least, which may be why we haven't really seen it as of yet. The tapping picks all still available. Nomad 4, GT1, GT2. Just kind of chilling there, waiting for somebody to maybe break the seal.
Is they're pretty good bans and pretty target bans for both teams, so I guess we're just going back-to-back real, which I cannot complain, but I kind of am a little bit worried about this pick, mostly because this strays away from the kind of mechanics that Virginia has been winning on.
Yeah, the wins for Virginia, you know, their Nomad 2 Precision pick, the Hidden 1 Tech pick, Hard Rock 1, which is just Hard Rock mechanics. This is a little bit different. I think they probably just feel like the better Hard Rock team. I have to assume. You know, this is a completely different skill set than Hard Rock 1, but if they just feel stronger on HR in general with the roster that they have, you know, with what, Rectagon, BTMC, and it was failing last time, maybe failing again here. If they just feel like that 3-man is stronger than whatever 3-man on a Hard Rock pick SoCal might be able to put together, I guess it makes sense in that regard.
It might be failing, stepping back in. It might be RNG because this map is suddenly not tapping, but I think it will be failing again. Meanwhile, SoCal will summon 315 back, and You're Cute as well. But no, RNG is here. Interesting. I'm hesitant for this pick. Let's hope Virginia proves me wrong and confirms their pick, because I kind of want to see Tiebreaker again. That was fun.
Yeah, we did see RNG a couple points ago on the Hidden 1. Dropped a quite good score, to say the least. So on a pretty decent day, second best score on the Nomad 2 as well. top scored for the team on the free mod too. So RNG certainly playing well enough. And just before we get into this match, I do want to mention quick congrats to Oregon on a very speedy 6-1 defeat over Stateless. That's something like our 7th or 8th 6-1 match in the last 8 or 9 matches. So well done to them advancing onward as we get started over back here into our Hard Rock 3 pick.
6-1 really is the new 6-0 for this tournament. Anyway, nobody will be finding any quick breaks as early accuracy lead goes to SoCal, but just by a little bit.
Yeah, it's just it's the accuracy again on BTMC, kind of the same thing as we've seen down at 95, struggling more so than anybody else in the lobby on the accuracy department. But this one is so long, it's all about the combo really, and there's gonna be the first traded breaks. It's gonna be Yercute and RNG, the first miss on either team.
Kind of an odd place to break right at the start of the chorus. Yercute gonna be breaking once again. But the lead is still very contested, not really swinging one way or the other.
Yeah, this is just the double FC versus the double FC, but the accuracy helping out SoCal still, despite despite the combo lead on RNG over Yercute. 96s on BTMC and it was 96 on RNG as well, just barely got above it.
Oh, Yercute with another break on that little cut double section. Will swing the lead over to Virginia by a little bit. Around 400 combo is the difference between RNG and Yercute. But you can again find breaks on any part of the chorus here, even early on. Some people have broken at the slider stream here.
No breaks on it that time. Wow, I feel like we almost always.
Yeah.
Seems like you always see a break on that slider stream, but not happening there. Well,
this is tense. This is tense, T1G. Nobody's breaking. I'm nervous.
Yeah, somebody with a big combo has got to miss eventually, man. This is pretty scary. Still a third of the map to go, and it is only a 50k lead for Virginia on their pick here. Decent combo lead for RNG over Yercute, but it's really just all about those FCs, the 2v2. Accuracy supremacy in the 2v2 in favor, actually, of SoCal, with BTMC still a little bit lower. But that combo difference is making up for it for the time being. But man, oh man, any one miss can flip this in a hurry. And I am terrified for literally everyone.
Well, if the status quo continues, I believe Virginia will take this, but nobody breaking on any slider stream. What the hell?
I don't know, these bugs no, it breaks on air! This is... Oh, but 315 trades it back right away! And SoCal not able to take advantage. And now it is Rectagon versus Utami. The script writes itself there. RNG still leading Yercute by about 400 combo. It is only 100,000 points separating the team, but we are coming down to the last moments. Not a lot left in this at the end, no matter what happens. Unless Rectagon and RNG were to break this exact second, it should be Virginia taking this one. But man, was this close the entire way through.
Kind of what we talked about, Aaron. It's one of those picks, we're starting to get into them, where you have faith that you'll win, but the certainty is just not there. Even if you have good Hard Rock players, like, you know the other side has just as big of a chance as you of taking it, and this time Virginia just barely edges out SoCal. We're starting to get into a very interesting match here. Barely edges, Riley Onosu. Do you want to know a funny thing right? So, Soul Calibur 1 came out in 1999, and it has a character called, well, I should say probably, it has a character that makes it so that whenever you pick him, male, uh, he chooses a random style every game or every round, I suppose, to fight. His name, Edgemaster. So I just thought I wanted to share this quick piece of trivia that has no relation to the match, just in this commentary booth today. So, yeah. Exactly like Mokujin, Soul Calibur 1's Mokujin is Edgemaster. I just want you to sleep with that knowledge today.
All right. Anyway, can we talk about the Osu here instead of edging? Might be a little more appropriate.
Well, this map,
Just a little.
This map made me a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit on the edge. Not really in a sexual way, just more in a nerves and anxiety way, I suppose.
So SoCal pick here, 3-4 down. They went DT4 earlier, won it. They went DT3 for their most recent pick, won that as well. DT1, DT2, not anywhere near similar to DTs 3 and 4. But if they feel like speed is a good direction to take this match, they could do one of those, or they could go Nomad 4. Well, that's close enough. So we will indeed opt into our first real tapping map of this match. It's going to be Gehenna, 2 minutes of 250 BPM bursts, a little bit of, it's not aim, but it's aim in the context of a Nomad 5 map in the way that they are. I don't know how to make that make sense.
Yeah, it has kick slider aim elements as well as a little bit more density than usual, because of the fact that this was kind of like made for free mod and not no mod, but I'm using it in no mod because I have twisted thoughts about pooling that no one should ever experience. But yeah, I'm sick and twisted like that. But I think this is actually a decent SoCal pick, just because if you consider the fact that this is a little bit more dense and a little bit more technical, this is like the one tapping map that SoCal has a definite advantage on, in my opinion. Because besides Rectagon, most of the tapping players for Virginia, I think, would have a little bit of a struggle on both of those factors. Meanwhile, Caleb used to be a pretty decent, easy speed player, so probably has that density locked down. 315, who knows what he can do? That guy's pretty good. I know you hate him because he betrayed Michigan, but he was just a free agent acquisition, just like Kawhi Leonard to the Clippers.
Yeah, the SoCal speed roster definitely inspires a little bit more confidence in this pick than does the Virginia. Obviously, Rectagon, one of the best turning speed players out there, but BTMC speed, perhaps not quite to the same degree. Not entirely sure what Failing will have to offer here. Gotta expect he'll do decently on it, but not 100%. So, in we'll go. You've got a little bit of aim, a lot of bursts, and it's not to mention there is a little bit of extra density in this since it was originally mapped as a free mod, using it in the no mod pool here. But once we get in it, we'll find out who is comfortable and who perhaps is a little less so. As SoCal looks to knot this match back up at 4 maps apiece and send it into the last pick per team. Virginia would love to get a big break point here and give themselves a match point on their own next pick.
BTMC with the early break. Repeatedly.
BTMC speed, bro. Unfortunately.
He has speed. He just doesn't have the accuracy to match it up. But on a map like this, where you have to do things after the bursts, being off time can really hinder that.
Well, it's a lot of good scores so far from everyone else. Unfortunately for BTMC, that 97 AC with a couple of breaks looking worse by the second as everyone holds 99 AC FCs around the lobby. And, you know, one small weak point can be all it takes for the opponents to claim a sizable lead, and it is 160k, and in fact a little bit more in the first break at the halfway mark here. Look at the accuracy, 99.6, 99.47 twice. SoCal doing some work so far.
This is a short map, Aaron. BTMC's break, even though it was early, is very significant. He has half the score of everybody else. Like, we're coming to the end of the map, roughly like 10 seconds from now. Everybody's already on that 500k margin.
Yeah, this ending is crazy dense. The fact that you're this far in and the scores are only at 575k, like the amount of score tied into the last little bit of this map is unreal. So one break from SoCal can send it over, but it's going to be traded. It's going to be Caleb and failing to miss. Utami and 315 still holding on. Rectagon and BTMC doing what they can here. A break from 315. Wait a second. There might just be enough time here at the ending. Rectagon and BTMC holding into the end. The score is going to drop, but I think they're probably going to run out of time here. It's going to come down to the last moments, but it's not going to be quite enough. And it is going to be SoCal. Not enough time for it to go over despite those breaks late in the map, with Utami holding the high-ac FC. And really, I mean, Rectagon on that great score, but needed one of the other two just to raise their game by a bit on that map. Didn't get it. SoCal had the better backing scores, and Utami on the full combo. And we're tied up 4-4. There are 2 picks left in this match. Man.
I think a lot of this late stage match, this like later stage of the match, I should say, is going to be about the other players. I think a lot of the maps that we have left, Utami and Rectagon are going to be equally good. They're either both FC or both get a very high score. Meanwhile, it's up to everybody else to really compete amongst themselves. And we saw there, Ed had a little bit of a tough time at the start, so South California just took it. Just took the opportunity, failing, breaking at the end, trading with 315, trading with Caleb, and we just had a little bit better of a performance as a duo than failing in BTMC. So it's going to be about those backing combos, those otherwise rotating players of both teams. So keep your eye on those.
Yeah, that is sometimes an under-discussed aspect of some of these matches, where it really can come down to who has the better supporting scores on their team. When you have these stars who are going to drop a lot of FCs, it needs to be about who gets the better scores out of their teammates. And it's been back and forth in that regard in this match, with both Rectagon and Utami holding up their end of the bargain. And it is our first Nomad 1 in any capacity of this entire week. It has taken us this long. It is the third to last match of the week now for our first sighting of Nomad 1 in any way, and it is the last pick of this match for Virginia in which we're going to be seeing it.
Surprise Fred Durst appearance as Virginia, with their final pick, chooses to bring it back. As we discussed previously, bring it back, not picked or banned in any other match thus far. So this tends to say one thing and one thing only, that this map is a coin flip and a half. The way this map is structured, it's a slow section into a very fast, very technical, like, aim section, if I can really put it that way, into another slow section into essentially the same thing. It's a very quick, bursty kind of... not bursty. It's a difficulty comes in bursts, I suppose, on this map, and people don't like that. People don't like this very spiky thing where anyone can break because it doesn't feel consistent, and that's what they're gonna have to play. They seem to have either run out of picks, or they have someone in their team who's very confident that can get through those difficult sections.
And I think, again, you've got Rectagon on the side of Virginia, you've got Utami on the side of SoCal, so you're going to have a player who is very likely able to FC this. Whether or not they do win that particular run is a different matter, I suppose, but let's just assume for a second that they perform to expectations. who is going to be the next best performer or performers in the map. BTMC has been solid but not great. You know, Easy Chalk, You're Cute have been solid at times. We've seen some good scores from both of them, but who is it going to be to kind of step up here and be that big supporting member? That's the question we're going to ask as we go into map number 9 here. Last pick of this match for Virginia. Whoever wins this gets a single match point to try and close it out before a possible tiebreaker, so there is a huge amount on the line. And Virginia's risking it all on what many have described as the coin flip map in this pool. Perhaps you could say the most RNG map in this pool.
We should not see any breaks before there's a little guitar riff, like without any vocals. So just keep your ears peeled for that, I guess. But if anybody breaks on this start, they are hardcore trolling or just very, very nervous.
And as you expect, first couple hundred combo going to be going by without incident. It is dead even with maybe a tiny little accuracy lead for Virginia. Nobody getting slow slidered. It's 6K, and that's all. And here we go. It's the buzz slider. Catches out Easy Chalk. Assuming that wasn't Bancho, that's where you got to watch out for. Your Cute's going to follow it up. Again, so a lot of misses in this may or may not be real misses, but it looks like they are, actually. Bancho is doing an okay job tonight. First break for Virginia is going to be BTMC, followed up by RNG. And what else but another 1v1 battle? It is Rectagon. It is Utami. They're on the FCs through that section, but Virginia clinging to about a 50K lead out of that first chorus.
Well, exactly what we thought would happen happened. A lot of breaks, nobody really being consistent, people breaking on different spots. And we get to another slow section. Virginia has the slight edge, but I don't know, like anything could happen on this second Ki, and the lead is small enough for it to matter, and matter deeply.
And it will be a bit of a combo lead for Virginia going into the next diff spike, notably. And here it's about to hit after this tiny little break into the last course. We go into Tommy to break, and Rectagon to hold. BTMC falls, but it's all about Rectagon now, the only FC left. The superstar of the United States over the past couple of years. He took up the reins from Utami, and he is still holding on to them. A miss-aim in this last section, but he will top score the map for his team, and he will bring it on in with a 260K gap. Virginia up 5-4. They will be the holders of the single match point that we will see in this entire affair. SoCal defending match point with their last pick of the match before maybe going to a TB.
Look at all those letter grades. A lot of people just getting caught out by those bus sliders. Those are really easy to break on. The window of time you have to hit it with like later than the like precise point that they're mapped to is very, very small. You have to either hit it early, which is very hard considering the slider structure and the jump structure before, or you have to eat a break, which is very frustrating. But Virginia being just a slight bit more consistent on that map, really mattering. Both Rectagon, BTMC comboing pretty well through both guys, RNG as well. Meanwhile, just a little bit less consistent for South California, with Utami breaking a little bit earlier. But SoCal, with that last pick, this is their winner's bracket life on the line. Let's see what they choose to pick as their last pick in this match. Options, we still have just do exclamation mark ban.
I'll tell you. It's Nomad 3, Nomad 5, DT1, DT2, Free Mod 1, Free Mod 3. Those are the remaining picks. There are 6 maps in the pool still, and they picked Nomad 4 last, and they did win it. So if they want to go DT1, if they want to go DT2 to continue to try to go back-to-back, tapping heavy, speedier picks, those would be the choices to do it with. Otherwise, I'm not entirely sure where else they might want to head. Nomad 3 would technically be an option. Not necessarily as great, but it is there as well with some of those longer streams at a higher BPM. But it's going to be DT1.
Where do you get your breakfast?
My breakfast, in fact, is straight out the medicine cabinet.
And turns out SoCal needs a little bit of aspirin to get the tiebreaker. as they choose to die on the misanthropic drunken loner hill. And it's not surprising, but it is a little bit different from Nomad 4. If Nomad 4, they had that edge for the density and the technical aspects, this is just a straight up DT shootout. It's tapping, it's a little bit of aim, and let's see if they can still confirm their pick here. It's again, their winner's bracket life on the line.
Yeah, it's not every day you expect you or ever see a SoCal team dropping to losers in the quarterfinals week. It seems like they're just a perennial semifinals team at worst, but this matchup is a scary one with Virginia on the other side. Match point in hand. Same roster as Nomad 4. Rectagon BTMC failing. Tommy, Caleb, you're cute. Over on the SoCal side, that is You're Cute and coming in to replace 315. There are 5 members in this lobby, the same as on our previous Speedy pick.
Fate of the universe on the line. These are the lineups for both of our teams as we head into the map here. As both our protagonist players here don't load. Quite ironic. This map is quite short. Any breaks will matter. Doesn't matter if they're early, late. Any result is possible.
And here we go. Map starting in earnest after that first 100 combo. Who is going to play hero? Who might be the victim of an unfortunately timed break? Will we see more three-way FCs like we saw from New York earlier today? A dominant force in the winner's bracket. One of these two teams, or both, could have the opportunity to do the same thing. It's going to be BTMC. No, that is a Bancho break. Hold on to your hats. Not a miss yet anywhere, but the 94 rack for BTMC is real. So he is falling a bit behind in the accuracy department. It is giving SoCal a little bit of a lead. When the map is this short, even accuracy can matter a little more than you might expect it to. And it is still 6 FCs. This is getting terrifying. That is, I believe, a real break from You're Cute, though. Let's see. Watch that combo.
That is a real break.
That is a real break, but failing.
Oh my god. It's 1 break each. The lead is so stable.
It's 1 break each, but BTMC 92 AC. And there is not a lot of coming back from that accuracy if everybody else is holding on to FCs. He's over 100,000 points behind. And it is SoCal to hold. A double FC on Utami and Caleb, a double FC on Rectagon and BTMC. You're Cute ahead of Veiling on the combo coming into the very ending. And this looks like another break from BTMC. It's a Caleb break at the very end, but not early enough. Not the time left. And SoCal, successful pick, ties it up 5-5. And we are going to get our 3rd tiebreaker of the weekend. We had Oklahoma over Arizona in the first. We had Minnesota over Illinois in the second. And at long last, it was yesterday early afternoon. And after quite a few more matches since then, we are going to get another closely fought one. We are going to get another tiebreaker. And where else but in SoCal versus Virginia, which on paper looked like it may well end up being the closest winner's bracket quarterfinal. And it has lived up to that billing.
Where else, honestly? Every winner's bracket match thus far has either been a stomp or, in this case, an extremely contested affair. No 7 or 6-3s, no 6-2s, no 6-4s, just pure contested tiebreaker matches. And this is our 3rd tiebreaker of the weekend. Obviously, we're going to be seeing Utami and Rectagon still in the lobby. Possibly RNG in the lobby as well, since it doesn't have too much tapping, although it does have a couple tapping sections. And, dude, I don't know. Something bat chest, something chills.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just the same story here as we've been seeing, right? You've got a superstar on either side. You've got Utami, who's dropped like 6 or 7 FCs at this point. You've got Rectagon, who's done very similar things on the side of Virginia. You've got backing combo around them that has been a bit of a mixed bag. We've seen everyone playing in this match. It's really run the gamut as far as performance, as far as strategy goes. And it all comes down to a tiebreaker that perhaps does feel a bit favored to Virginia, but anything can happen on a tiebreaker, as we have found out over the years in tournaments.
I have no idea who this favors, honestly. Because it's one miss away from any of the good players into giving a lot of people free slow section combo, really making any combo that holds like much higher. So I'm scared. I'm scared, T1G.
I am scared might not be the right word. I am excited because, well, that's the beauty of having no real rooting interest, is you just want to see people popping off and putting on incredible performances. So here we go. Eastshot, Caleb, Utami, RNG, BTMC, and Rectagon in a tiebreaker for a spot in the winners semifinals. On the line here, early breaks for SoCal, getting those nerves out of the way right at the start. He's shocking Utami, just going to be chilling now. No worries. You're not FCing. You can't have nerves. You can't shake. That is the strat for SoCal. But it will give Virginia a little bit of early lead, as there goes Caleb as well. Still a triple FC through the first verse on the side of Virginia into this chorus with that three-way intact.
Well, that was not the start you want to have for SoCal, regardless of the Apraxiamus, let's call it, where you get the nerves out of the way very early. It still has a potential of mattering, and so far Virginia is holding strong on all three of their players. And solid accuracies too. Everybody has... Oh! Rectagon actually finding their first break.
And that was a big chain miss, that entire aim section. He fell off of it and could not get back on. There goes BTMC as well. It is going to be Caleb trading one out, but now it is RNG with the FC left against the recovery combo on both Easy Shock and Utami. That lead did not get very big for Virginia in the early goings, and SoCal will be able to pull this on back. And we've got a slow section here for some free combo as well. The lead by the end of this section may well be over to South California, and it's going to be Virginia needing some help to get back into it afterwards.
Dude, out of this slow part, we're gonna see another very big, like, section, just like the intro. So, if SoCal misses again, then it starts getting interesting.
It's gonna be Easy Shock. Oh, Rectagon trades it. He needs to be the one to recover, but crucially, RNG BTMC still on the combo. Utami still holding as well as Caleb, but that stabilizes the score for the moment, as those combos are in favor of Virginia by small. Into the guitar solo, it's going to be Caleb the next to break.
Breaking at the start of the solo. We're still gonna see a couple breaks. I'm sure of it, but not looking good for South California right now. Nobody breaking on that square. Has seen a couple breaks throughout the weekend.
Crucial stream section at the end here. The flow aim catches out Easy Chalk. All three members of Virginia held through, and the combo lead does grow out a bit more. RNG on the 1200 combo, Utami about 100 behind, but BTMC and Rectagon on the recoveries for both. The lead goes over 100,000 points for the first time in this map. Well, let's see how long those three combos can hold for the side of Virginia as they look to push the lead even farther forward into the last third of the map.
Caleb missing the
goodness.
whole ending section of that solo. Now South California needs RNG to break, and they need him to break very quickly.
Let's see, we've got this stream section here. It's RNG to break. Wait just a second.
The last node.
Utami now on the 1400 combo. Easy Shock on a 400 combo. BTMC on 1,000. Rectagon only on about 200 combo. It is combo advantage to SoCal. It is a 140,000 point lead to Virginia. We're going to come into this section. Utami breaks! That was what Virginia needed to stay in the lead in this one. The biggest combo for SoCal just fell, and Virginia now have the opportunity to bring this one home in through the ending as Easy Chalk falls as well. BTMC, who would have thought throughout this match, carrying the tiebreaker, putting on the biggest combo when it matters most in the last third of the map. And Virginia with the 200k lead and only the quiet ending to come. That quiet ending might spell the end for SoCal in the winner's bracket.
It's over. It's over. This map has almost nothing else to really throw at you. RNG and BTMC, in a cruel twist of fate, being the ones to actually stick the dagger in SoCal. Rectagon didn't even... He has the lowest score in almost the whole lobby. He's matching Caleb right now. Impressive performance from Virginia's backing players, really putting the team and their leader on their back.
It was Rectagon through so much of this match, right? He had several FCs throughout, and when he needed his team the most, they rose to the occasion. BTMC dropping the 690k. RNG is going to drop right next to him a 678k, and that is exactly what Virginia needed on the tiebreaker. They take the win, and they will take our next winner's bracket semifinal spot. It's going to be an all-star clash, NorCal versus Virginia. Poor Virginia gets back-to-back Californias, but man, what a match this was to get them there. Hats off to both these teams for an incredibly entertaining affair, and congratulations to Virginia on a massive W.
SoCal now is going to have to run through the loser bracket gauntlet, and Virginia will stay as the winners they are in the winner bracket. Amazing match. I think everyone really played out of their mind, and Virginia just barely taking that in the tiebreaker. Couple of unfortunate breaks from both sides ended up favoring Virginia in the end. Amazing match. Thank you very much to every single player here for playing this. Everybody watching. Amazing support here in the USC chat. And yeah, Aaron, what do we have remaining in this round?
Well,
for USC,
we have 2 matches remaining this week. One of them is right now waiting to get underway, watching that match very excitedly. It is Washington versus Oklahoma, our last losers bracket round 3 match of the week, which I know it doesn't have quite the name value of SoCal versus Virginia, but they're going to put up a fight on both of those teams, I am sure. So definitely stick around for that. And then tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Monday night Eastern Time, 2 UTC Tuesday, our last winners bracket quarterfinal will be Florida versus Maryland. But we're going to get underway with Washington versus Oklahoma in just a couple minutes. We're going to bring in some new commentators because I don't know about you, Dada, but I'm pretty exhausted after that one. And I need a beverage, and I need to lay back and relax and watch the last match of the night. And hopefully everybody that is here will join us as we go on into the last match of our Sunday night block in just a moment.
Yeah, hopefully the match is just as good. And thank you very much for watching this match, everybody who was here following Rectagon, following Utomi, following BTMC, and anybody else who you might be supporting specifically, or maybe you're just rooting for your state, rooting for even just your country. Thank you for being here for such a special match, as we're going to be throwing it over to our new commentators, Hubba Wubba and iFlip.